Okay, the hour of 6 o'clock having arrived, we're going to call the regular meeting of the Sherman Village Board to order. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Gray,
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn,
Yes.
Trustee Long,
He has an excused absence.
Trustee Rockford,
Yes.
Trustee Schultz,
Yes.
Trustee Tim,
Another excused absence.
and President Gladstone.
Here, that's 5 members of the board answering the roll. Quorum being established, we'll proceed with the order of business as set forth on the agenda. For the record, today is Tuesday, November 19th of 2019. We're at the Village Hall, 401 St. John's Drive in Sherman, Illinois. Time is 6 o'clock, it's a regular meeting. The agenda's been posted 48 hours in advance of this meeting in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. We'll state that for the record. Let's move along in the agenda to item number 2. Can I ask everybody to stand, face the flag? Let's have Mr. Beal. Would you lead us in the Pledge of
I'll be
Allegiance?
happy to. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. We need to set the agenda. As I stated, there can be no action items, but any trustees seeking recognition for any topic areas of discussion forward those to the chair at this time. Seeing none, chair will entertain a motion to set the agenda. Trustee Rockford makes a motion, second by Trustee Schultz. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it. The agenda is set. We'll move along with the clerk's report. Item number 1 is the presentation of the October 15th, 2019 meeting minutes. Those are presented by for approval by the village clerk. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes as presented? Any additions or corrections? Seeing none, we need a motion to approve those minutes. Is there a motion to that effect? Trustee Gray makes a motion, second by Trustee Hahn. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Gray,
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn,
Yes.
Trustee Rockford,
Yes.
Trustee Schultz,
Yes.
4 members voting yes, none voting no, but the minutes are approved and will be added to the village website for inspection. Item number 2 is the bills for approval. Any trustees, questions regarding the bills? Treasurer Stunkel, anything to point out outside the normal course of business?
It's a pretty large listing. I think that the main thing to point out, there's some bond payments that are on here. They're being paid for, I believe, the street bond that we issued back in 2016. I don't think there's anything else that's too out of the ordinary on there.
Okay.
I had one question, and I kind of looking for it, it's pond maintenance under aquatic control.
it's the Village Park Pond. We're having issues with the growth of the algae and the cattails, so we hired a company to come in and actually take all that out. I think, Bruce, you're here.
Yes.
They did a pretty good job,
Yes,
both the applications, and I think they're done for now, aren't they, Bruce? The
correct,
contract's up?
correct, until spring.
Okay.
But it's a probably a 10, 11 month process to get them totally killed out due to we got them cut down, but now the sun is finally done maybe hitting them. It'll take, it's not a week project, it's about 10 months to get rid of all the cattails and moss, so.
Okay, I just
Yeah,
didn't know what it was. Thank you.
Okay.
they're certified, they do Illinois, Indiana, they're certified EPA, water runoff, everything like that, so no hazards.
Okay, so we need a motion to approve the bills. Is there a motion to that effect? Trustee Schultz makes a motion, second by Trustee Gray. Clerk call the roll.
Trustee Gray,
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn,
Yes.
Trustee Rockford,
Yes.
Trustee Schultz,
Yes.
4 members voting yes, none voting no. Bills are approved for payment. Treasurer Stunkel is here to answer any questions regarding the treasurer's report. Anybody have any questions regarding the treasurer's report? Okay, let's accept.
I had one thing to point out, when I was going through it, I noticed I made an error in the previous months. I had posted our gaming tax revenues to the gaming licenses account, so I adjusted that this month, so you might see a little irregularity if you're comparing month to month, but that's the only thing really to point out on there.
Okay. Need to accept the treasurer's report and add that to the village website. Trustee Rockford makes a motion, second by Trustee Gray. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Gray,
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn,
Yes.
Trustee Rockford,
Yes.
Trustee Schultz,
4 members voting yes, none voting no. The treasurer's report is approved. Village engineer is not here this evening. Legal counsel is not here this evening. Brings us to economic Economic Development Coordinator and Village Administrator. Do you have anything for the record?
Nothing really.
We'll go to the President's Report. Item number 1 is the fiscal year 2019 audit presentation by the auditors. We're actually gonna have them at a future meeting. We're gonna table this agenda item this evening and have them possibly at the next meeting or the following meeting. We'll work and do some other details with them. Item number 2 is a resolution for the 2020 MFT maintenance program. I can tell you right now that this is the reason why we're here, the way I feel tonight. If we didn't have to approve this meeting might be canceled. So, we need to approve this before December 1st in order to get the MFT program underway. I'm kinda muscling through a little bit of a head cold and kinda feeling crummy. That being said, Administrator, you wanna state anything for the trustees?
You guys got the information in your package. Do you have any questions about any of that stuff? This is our annual renewal of our maintenance program. It is due by December 1 of every year. If we do not renew it by December 1st, when we need to have this meeting tonight, then any engineering costs that we have associated with this after December 1st would not be fundable through MFT, would have to come out of our general fund, or we'd have to delay the project for another year. Also, included in this is the continuation of the DIP program, the DIP removal program, which we've done for the last 2 years. We continue that program with these funds, as well as the mill and overlay for Windermere, which is a Crown Point. They will also be seen in the upcoming months, MFT fund allocations and new construction for Village Center Road, because there's a base failure there. And I believe also one other one, I'm not sure exactly what that is. I've talked to the engineer today, but you'll be seeing those in the upcoming months.
Questions? Any questions? Okay, the chair would like to entertain a motion to approve the 2020 MFT maintenance program. Is there a motion to that effect? Trustee Hoy makes a motion. Is there a second? Second by Trustee Rockford. Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Gray?
Yes.
Trustee Holland?
Yes.
Trustee Rushton?
Yes.
Trustee Schultz?
Yes.
That's 4 members voting yes, none voting no. The MFT maintenance program will be approved and village president will sign the proper authorization. Item number 3 is a memorandum of agreement with Plumbers Local 137 for temporary hire of licensed plumbers for E1 grinder pump changeout program. I spoke about this last meeting and I think the meeting before possibly. Are we prepared to move forward on this evening?
Yes.
Okay.
Bruce, I'm going to Mr. Gray.
I'm sorry.
Bruce Beal, the sewer department coordinator, is also in attendance. Are you prepared for us to move forward on this evening to get this program moving?
Yeah, we are.
So we need to change out, I think I went into pretty good detail last time in the last meeting, but we need to change out the grinder pumps, the old grinder pumps, and get these E1 pumps in the ground, in the pits. Aside from our guys trying to do it, we haven't been successful in truly getting it done. And a lot of our callback time is for the old pumps that can't chew through the various different items that are put through the system. That shouldn't be put through there, but that all being said, it still requires call-outs and overtime and guys that have to be dedicated to a schedule every weekend. So we have 3 full-time public works guys, so every 3rd weekend they're on call the entire weekend, and it's pretty disruptive to their lives. And over a period of time, it will affect morale. I see it. It's not a job that I would want to do, but it is a component of their job to the extent that we can eliminate it. And now is kind of a time that's presented itself. We've had a couple issues within the Public Works Department that has making us balance a few things. With that being said, there's funds, and the treasurer is here, but we do have funds in the sewer revenue fund that are for this purpose, correct? And these dollars can be used. We've been buying pumps all day long for year after year after year. There's funds that are there that we can purchase these pumps. The intent is to bring in 2 plumbers on a temporary contractual basis, have them actually do the work at the direction and under the direction of the sewer department coordinator, which is Bruce Beal. He will oversee that, we'll get those changed out. I believe there's 110 pumps. This is not a small task. You have to dig with the excavator. We may have to rent an excavator or even look at going back to purchasing and that excavator that we almost purchased, I don't know whether that was a year ago or something like that, and it just didn't turn out to be a good piece of equipment. But getting through the frozen ground, our small excavator will have some troubles this winter as these guys are brought on and assume these tasks. So we may have to come forward with, you know, a purchase for an excavator. And if that didn't work out, then we would look at renting something. But at this point, we're gonna need an excavator going forward anyway, so we might have to just go back to what our initial intent was, get the larger excavator and be able to use it for this project and then many other projects into the future. Do you have anything to add to what I've said?
No, not really. I mean, these new pumps, the old ones have mercury switches in them, which we'll be eliminating out of wastewater. The new ones, as far as the residents that have the boxes, I believe, for instance, Kim Rockford, you have one on yours. Well, the electric usage on them is like 50% of what, you know, they use less electricity. They're all printed circuit boards compared to, you know, you open a new one, or the old ones up, and there's contactors, capacitors, there's a zillion things in there, where the new ones are just clean and, you know, it's like anything, technology. Some of the other ones have been in since '87.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they've had their life. Some of them we haven't touched, and we have some that just, you know, you fix one thing, it's kind of like a car, you know, where do you stop? And we can't even, the old pumps we've been taking out, we've been scabbing parts off because you can't even get parts for them anymore. We're kind of running out of our backup parts.
Well, an example, we have one of our pumps, we got call outs 5 days in a row, I believe, and this is while you were gone for a short period.
Yeah, so the last thing I'll state, because I think everybody's prepared to move forward, but the last thing I do want to state for the record, and let everybody know and reiterate, is the fact that this system is old. 2 houses share one pump. And so when 2 houses share one pit and pump, and there's an issue with a sanitary wipe or whatever the thing is that has been put through the system, each household is pointing a finger at the other household. And there's no way, I shouldn't say there's no way, but it'd be very difficult, and it is difficult, to determine who is the offender. We know, we can see who the habitual offenders are. At the end of the day, they're pointing fingers back and forth. Then it comes to a legal issue. And then we start racking up the legal side of things and the administrative side of things that have a cost to it. These sewer department funds these sewer revenue funds are there for this purpose. They're sitting in a fund. We have ample revenues to move forward on this. So it's my recommendation that we go forward with this. I know it's recommendation of Trustee Long, 110%. He just is not able to be here this evening. So that all being said, does anybody have anything to state?
Sure, I had one thing too, on these new pumps. If somebody is doing something they shouldn't, you know, and these towelettes say flushable, they say all this and that. Springfield Sanitary District's having a dickens of a time with it, same deals. But however, these new pumps, we have found, even putting them in, even if they do put them down there, these new pumps eat them up and run them through. So to save the, you know, they don't lock it up and then we gotta go out and pull them. These new ones seem to, even though we still are working on, and I'm gonna meet with every resident as we put them in, this new pumps come with a handbook, kind of like do's and don'ts, and at least I'm gonna go one-on-one and talk to them and try to explain to them what's going on, do's or don'ts, but you know how that goes. We'll see.
Okay, is everybody prepared to move forward then?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to make sure that our legal counsel reviewed this, because I just want to make sure, it clearly states, and I'm not an attorney, that we're not a signatory on any bargaining agreement. It's just simply a short-term, pay the rate, but there's no obligation, no pension issues, no nothing. It's a one and done. And as long as legal counsel just confirm that, that's how it looks like to me, that just.
He did, and Administrator Stratton conveyed that to me today, yesterday, whatever it was.
I mean,
It's been
first,
looked at by
that's
him.
not a signatory on any collective bargaining agreement. Okay.
No,
It's temporary, and Lumberton fully understand that.
I think there was a rate and plus like an allowance, right, for the.
Yeah, and that's, okay,
For the
whatever the
rate.
rate is.
City of Springfield does this, and other communities have this same agreement, where they bring on people out of the hall temporarily to do certain jobs, and then you pay their rate, and there's a pension run up in there, but it's not a pension system that we're in or whatever. You're just paying that rate because they participate in the plumbers.
And that's fine, I just don't want it to somehow be obligated on a future pension obligation over a short-term contract.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
no. So, okay, we need to move forward. Motion, trustee Gray makes a motion, seconded by trustee Horn. Clerk, please call the roll. Let me read into the record, that's a memorandum of agreement with Plumbers Local 137 for temporary hire of licensed plumbers for E1 grinder pump change-out program. The motion was made by trustee Gray, seconded by trustee Horn. And now we're at clerk calling the roll.
Trustee Gregg?
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn?
Yes.
Trustee Rocker?
Yes.
Trustee Schultz?
Yes.
4 members voting yes, none voting no. The program will move forward. Item number 4, you should have this, all the trustees have this.
No,
Oh, okay. So we do this every year anyway, I'll pass it around, pass it around. So, every year we do this, we try to recognize what our employees do for us all year long and tell them thank you additionally in a certain way. And that's a one-time salary adjustment stipend right here before Christmas time. So for full-time employees, we're going to recommend that they get what they got last year, that $250 stipend to help provide for a better, holiday season for them, or however they would choose to use that. This year we did add half the amount for some of the for the part-timers, which is basically the police officers, and 2 public works individuals who, while they were considered permanent part-time, I mean, they've been with us for so many years. We need to obviously say thank you to them. But all of these part-time officers, I feel it necessary to make their Christmas a little bit better. They're here for us. These concerts and the concert series and all the programming at the park, that they have stepped up and taken hours to work and done it with smiles and happiness, should be recognized and thanked. So, I mean, we got police officers that are working these events they're working them, but they're also enjoying them too. I mean, you get to take in a pretty good concert. I've seen state troopers show up to be on scene, and I think, they're taking in a concert a little bit too, so. It's a great venue, it's a great park, and there's still lots of great things to come, but our part-time guys have stepped up and worked all of those events and made them very successful. And we haven't, knock on wood, had any issues down there. And I don't want to jinx anything, but it's gone well. So, that being said, is everybody comfortable with moving forward with what is on that sheet? So, okay. So the one-time merit stipend for dedicated service and job well done in 2019 for current employees, per the itemized list that is shown to the board. Is there a motion to approve that? Trustee Hahn?
Yes.
Makes a motion, seconded by trustee Schultz. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Gray?
Yes.
Trustee Miller?
Yes.
Trustee Rocker?
Yes.
Trustee Schultz?
Yes.
4 members voting yes, none voting no. That measure is approved and adopted. Committee department reports, there are none. Chief Banger is in attendance. Anything under the police department? Nothing. Sherman Emergency Management Agency, Director Mike Rose is here. We have Sherman Public Works, Director Newton, he's got the evening off. He did just have a birthday yesterday. He was just really having. So if you see him, let him know he's getting younger by the day. But the lights that the Public Works guys put up are looking amazing. And Sean has continually changed it up year after year. So we've gotten a few surprises this year with lights versus colored lights in different areas and things like that. So it's kind of fun to see that, and I know that there's a lot of compliments coming in, myself and Trustee Hahn has been getting them, and Trustee Rodberg, and all of us, so, I want to say good job to the police department and the public works department. Let's see here, new business, there is no new business to come before the board, there's no old business before the board, and no civic organization seeking recognition. That does bring us to the public comment period. Administrator Stratton will get the list to see if anybody has signed in. So we have one individual who signed in to speak before the board, Mr. Tim, now, is it Aper?
Aper, yes, sir.
Aper. So, I've never seen you here at a meeting before, so I just need to stipulate something
Sure,
real fast. I
sure.
want to say welcome. We love having you. We do have a board policy, because you will have 3 minutes to address the board.
Okay.
It's actually pretty long when it comes to public speaking. So feel free to, address the board. I would, if I were you, this is just me advising you, don't ask us any questions in your initial run-up, essentially, to what you're here to stipulate or say or anything like that. And then if there's some questions that we can answer, we can potentially take a little bit of those after your 3 minutes. But please, enjoy 3 minutes of, speaking to the village board. I'm gonna set the timer here in just 1 second. Okay, so I'll set that right there. There you go.
Appreciate the time, ladies and gentlemen. On October the 24th of 2019, I received this on my door, and I can read it. Violation ordinance 722 or and 10910, restriction of camper in front yard removed, covenant number 1-1-6. So as I read through your code, your ordinance violation, in your violation, it does not say anything about parking in the yard. Okay, according to the violation, and it's quite lengthy, it says that I can't park it across the street, on or across the street. It also says, as you read through here, it also says that I can or may park in the backyard or in enclosed garages or buildings. Okay? I didn't violate any of these. I'm not for sure why I got the violation, so I'm asking, I will entertain questions afterwards. Later on October 29th, I received a letter, compliance met, filed, it was closed, ordinance violation 722A and 10910B. In your ordinance, and if you don't mind, I'll take a quick second and I'll read that. 722A, trucks, it shall be unlawful to park trucks weighing 9 tons or more, including semi-trucks, whether connected to a trailer or otherwise loaded or empty, on the streets of the village except for the purpose of loading and unloading. Okay? And that was 722A. 10910B, no motor vehicle repair work of any kind is permitted in any required accessory off-street parking facility. No gasoline or motor shall be sold in conjunction with an accessory off-street parking lot, except where such lot is accessory to a business having such sale as a principal use. Those were the two of the thank you letter, and I appreciate the thank you letter that says I complied with that. But what I'm complying with in your thank you letter was not what was written on this violation. So my question, can I get to a question? My question is, if I poured a pad beside my home, can I park my camper back there?
Without answering that right here
Sure.
in the public forum,
Sure.
without legal counsel here,
Sure.
I would basically decline to answer that right now.
Okay.
But what I would say is that we can have legal review that, and of all nights,
Well-
for him to be off. I had no idea what you were coming here for.
No,
I didn't
that's
know you were
fine.
gonna be here.
Yes, sir.
But it was such a light agenda to where we didn't need him, so he's not here. So what I think is best is that we, get back with you and follow up and answer any of those questions. I haven't reviewed any of the ordinances, off of, what you just
Yes, sir.
stated
I
and read
understand.
aloud. It's not something I familiarized myself with most recently, and I don't think any of the board has. I do know that campers, and motor homes and those types of items are becoming a bigger issue for this village in terms of them being parked, and, yeah, they're starting to pop, they've been popping up all over, and we get various different, complaints and things along those lines. And
Well,
we've put it in our newsletters in the past of what's permitted and what isn't permitted, but you only got so much space in that newsletter. And so you did do your due diligence in terms of reading up and seeing what is in the code. It is something that I've actually thought about tackling as a board and clarifying and stipulating what is going to be, what's the current common practice for lots of other municipalities who went through this. I know that people are buying motorhomes and, campers more and more, it seems like. And, we're at a point in this community where if you have it, you love it, and it's not something that, is a big issue to you. If you live next to it or down the street and you don't have it, you're not a camping type person or whatever, we typically hear from, those individuals, about the number of them and things along those lines. But there are current rules on the books, and, to the extent that they may be potentially outdated. There's also something else that goes along with it too, and that's homeowners association covenants, which we don't enforce, and don't have any standing in that. That's for the homeowners association to enforce. But, that being said, that is one benchmark that people need to also overcome in terms of what they do within the areas that they live.
And with that being said, sorry to interrupt, with that being said, there's, and according to your ordinance, you can't have box trailers or anything blocking roads. The violation that was written to me, there is several in my neighborhood, and I will not mention an address. There are several in my neighborhood, there's several throughout the village of Sherman that are parked on the street, right off the street, in the grass, off the grass. My vehicle, my camper was parked there for one day. It was going camping that weekend. So it was brought down, cleaned it out, packed it with food, and I received an ordinance on the door, violation on the door. You drove past 4 other violations to get to my home. So I kind of have an issue with, why would we drive past all the others? I was told by an individual within your community that says the only time you guys come out is when there's a phone call. Well, because of that, and I understand that there's issues wherever. There's gentlemen that ride their 4-wheelers up and down Windermere till wee hours sometimes in the summertime.
Well, that's not permitted, just so
And
you know.
again, I'm saying these things, I'm not gonna throw any stones, but somebody's throwing some stones at me.
Yeah.
It was there for one day, it was not gonna stay there.
And that's the ideal way of doing it right there. What you see, I didn't know that, but that's the ideal person or whatever in terms of a person that owns a camper or a motorhome. It's not to have the I don't know what they're called, the outrigger type things,
Yeah.
propped up and getting it ready for camping, having it there for maybe, and maybe, I'm trying to
It
remember.
probably was like 24, 48 hours.
Yeah, I thought we do permit an amount of time to do that.
Well, and in your ordinance itself, it says that, it can be parked on the street to be loaded or unloaded for emergency reasons,
Yeah,
or emergency purposes.
yeah,
That's it, it doesn't say anything else.
yeah.
So because of that, it's kind of strange that, I don't think Mr. Stratton, right? Yeah, you wrote it,
Yes, sir.
and the thing is, it's there for one day.
And I'm not,
It-
right.
And I'm not targeting you, I'm just saying it was there for one day, and why am I being targeted when it's there for one day and it's gonna be gone? But yet, other folks have them, and I understand there's covenances, I understand that stuff, but according to the village ordinance and what you wrote me for, I didn't violate those.
Okay,
And I didn't violate the originals anywhere in that order.
yeah,
I didn't violate that. It didn't block the sidewalk. Okay? It wasn't parked on the sidewalk. It didn't block the sidewalk. And then the other part of that is off-street, where it says off-street parking. And it says right here, It may be parked in closed garages, buildings, or in rear yards. It doesn't say it has to, and it has to be, but it says that it may be. So, like I said, I'm here today. It's-
Well, I
it's
mean, we would,
one of those things that,
Yeah. you
you
can't,
know,
you
I've
can't have
got,
them, you can't have them, like, parked out front. I mean, when it says it may, be in those locations, that doesn't mean like it can be anywhere else. Does that make sense? Like, you may, like, typically, and especially with like homeowners associations,
Mhm.
if the area permits a shed per se to be in, or, you know, a smaller outbuilding in the rear yard, a lot of the covenants language will say that it can't be seen from anywhere from the street or something along those lines.
okay,
And it has to match the house and look like, you know, use the same siding and be an accessory structure that isn't seen and visible from the road, and typically, I think even sometimes it says neighbors aren't supposed to see it, which pretty much permits it, or doesn't permit it altogether. It's a slippery slope in terms of, you know, when we start tackling this, and then we start, you know, kind of ticking off our residents. So, and that's not what you want to do, but we are gonna have to come up with some kind of more updated, uniform policy that everybody understands. What I don't think that everybody wants, other than the people that potentially own, and not every person that owns a camper, you know, you said you brought it home and took it back out of there.
right, it was
So
gone the next
to
day.
me, that says that you don't keep and store it there, and you're not looking to, you know, save the $40 a month that it costs to, you know, store it, where they typically are stored and most people want them stored. But we do have people that are, you know, circumventing that, parking them in their driveways,
Correct. Yes, sir.
you know, and trying to not pay the storage fee or whatever, but it's kinda, at a certain point, if you're going all in on a camper and motorhome or whatever, it's like Brett tells me, it's like, you want that car, but you complain about the gas with that big motor or whatever, you know, at a certain point, you gotta factor in, I have to store this somewhere, and, you know, and factor that in. But we'll take a look at that, I'll have
Sure.
legal counsel, I wanna follow back up with you, or
Sure.
maybe reach back out to me and just kinda talk to you about it a little further.
Sure, yeah, yes, sir.
So, and I apologize, I'm like not up on the ordinances to
No, that's
those
fine.
specific ones.
That's
at
fine.
this
I
point
met
in
this
time.
gentleman, Mr. Stratton, he
Yeah.
met us at the door, so I
Yeah.
knew he'd be here, and I thought, well, you know, it'd be a good time just to bring this up.
A lot of times, what he does and what we do, unless, I mean, it's a knock and an ask, without a door hanger or a letter. That's what my, since I've been in office is, even with the police department, most, you know, it's like, try to get compliance with a smile and an ask. And then if you can't get something done, then you gotta go to the black and white. This
Right,
is what
of
the
course.
ordinances say, here's this, and then if you still can't get it, you know, fines can be levied and various things.
Correct.
Then it creates a whole other thing right there.
It's $150, first fine, 75, and 150 after that, so it's smooth.
So, let's stay in touch, you and I.
Sure. Yes, sir.
And then, you may even have some recommendations. I wanna talk to legal
Sure.
things as well, and then.
If you'd like to sit down with me, you, and legal, that's fine with me, Mr. Stratton, too.
Yeah,
Doesn't
absolutely.
matter to me.
Yeah,
I'll sit down and go over it.
okay,
It doesn't bother me at all,
yeah, very good.
okay?
Do you have anything else under that or anything else?
No,
All right,
no, I don't.
okay, very good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
Ladies and
you.
gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
I apologize for my appearance, I just got off work, so.
No worries.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think that did conclude yeah, okay, so there's no other further individuals who've signed in to speak. That brings us to executive session, of which there is none. That brings us now to the adjournment resolution. Before we do adjourn, I want to remind the board and the audience that we have a couple of events that are coming up. The first one, which is this Sunday, is the third annual Christmas tree lighting ceremony at Village Park. There's an itinerary that you all have, I believe. We have Ed Clark going to play the keyboard, piano. We have Hope Church Chorus, the 6th grade chorus, the WHS Madrigals, Vigil at the Christmas Tree and Roundabout, which was excellent last year, that trustee Rockford and Gray, I think, oversaw that and had all the candles and everything arranged, which was top notch. Did it again, so things will look beautiful and it went nicely. Then we're gonna do a sing-along at the Village Park Christmas tree when we get there, like we did last time, some Christmas caroling. And then we'll do the countdown to the tree lighting and announcing this year instead of trying to surprise the town, so that we can, now last year's weather is, that if the first year we did this, we had so many people at this event, it was, like I said, I mean, it was like what Norman Rockwell type thing.
Yeah.
Last year, last year not so much, we had to move the date, because of the misty rain nastiness, and then the date we moved it to turned out to be
Freezing.
bitterly cold. So, I looked at the weather, I think yesterday, I wanna say it's what, 38 or 41 or something?
46.
Is it 46 now?
It's sunny.
46, sunny,
It's gonna be a good day.
It's look.
that's a good day. It's from 5 to 7. The Vikings are on a bye this week, so there'll be no conflict with a winning team. The Bears probably, when do they play? Will they have already lost?
Yeah.
So the Bears will have already lost. Because Brett's taking his daughter. What's the record when she's went to the games?
Oh,
Oh, and
Oh
8.
my God. That's great.
We have a special appearance by Santa Claus coming this year. And there will be hot chocolate, hot apple cider, Christmas treats, all compliments of County Market. The fireworks is gonna be done by Central States Fireworks, Larry Lefferts. I don't know what he has in store for us, I just know that he's promised to do another good show. So, we have that, and we have the Children's Christmas Party on Saturday, December 14th, from 9 to 11 a.m. at the Sherman Elementary School. Anything else I need to announce? That's it. All right, well, I started feeling better as we move along, so that's a good thing. Nothing further, no further business? Okay, seeing none, the chair would entertain a motion to adjourn. Is there a motion to that effect? Trustee Rockford makes a motion, second by trustee Hahn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it. We're adjourned at 6, was that 38?